Good evening, everyone. I was reflecting this past week, maybe after the Zoom class or one of our prayer calls or something, about all the women in this congregation who are pregnant, and was praying for them. And I couldn't help think, hasn't God blessed us so greatly with the answered prayers thus far, with all the children who have been born in this congregation? When you look around and see all the changes that have occurred in this group over just even the past 6 years, I see all these healthy, smiling, beautiful faces, and it's heartwarming, and you can't help reflect how many countless prayers were sent up on these children's behalf, on the mother's behalf, for safe deliveries, and then the next thing, and the next prayer, and the next prayer, and the prayers never stop. Ever. Being a father for me is the greatest thing that I've ever done. And the cliche is true. It's the hardest thing you'll ever do, but it's the most fulfilling in every single way. And I know not everybody is called to be a parent, a mom or a dad, but within this room are many daddies and many mommies. And so I was kind of reflecting on our path, because today I brought Abe to school for first grade for his first day, as many of you did with your children in the past month. We have this profound purpose as parents, to raise our children to be disciples of Christ. And what are we saying when we say we want them to be disciples of Christ? But we want them to understand that they have a profound purpose. Even when you look at your little 6-year-old, you want them in their heart to know that they have a profound purpose. And the sad thing is, as we grow up, that lesson still rings true for a 20-year-old, for a 30-year-old, for a 40-year-old, and somewhere along the way, each one of us at some point, and some people altogether forever, lose their profound spiritual purpose, and it's really sad. And so what do? We give our children lessons, we talk to them, and what I try to do, I'm not always perfect with this, but you try to talk to your children when they're not in trouble, sort of not lead from behind. Those are the best conversations I have with my son, and for me, it's when I'm taking him to school. We'll have little conversations. And I was thinking of the lessons that I give him, and it occurred to me, obviously, the things that I teach him are applicative to me in an adult sense. Everything I want him to master as a 6-year-old, I too should master. And so I want to talk about 3 things quickly that I teach my son and daughter that is applicative to us. First, I teach him to be kind. I think every parent in this room, even from the earliest stages, is teaching their child to be kind. What's the 6-year-old level of that? I tell Abe, don't be an instigator all the time. Use nice words. Share. Be kind and considerate of everyone. We also teach them how to react when they're mistreated. It warms my heart to know that Abe is equipped with the skills when at school, if someone's mean to him, he knows what to do. I want him to know. So what do I say? Don't respond in kind. Don't respond negatively. Or we say, use your words. Learn to communicate. What's the adult application? In Mark chapter 12, verse 30, it says, and you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and all your mind and all your strength. And the second is this, you shall love your neighbor as yourself. Do we choose our words carefully with an intent to encourage and uplift? Are we a good friend? Are we kind? Titus chapter 3, verse 2 says, malign no one. Proverbs 18:4 says, a person's words can be a life-giving water. And Ephesians 4:19 says, let no corrupting talk come out of your mouths, but only such as is good for building up, as fits the occasion, that it may give grace to those who hear. Are we as adults living examples of someone who is merciful and forgiving when we're wronged by another? Do we go to a brother when they wrong us with a heart of reconciliation and unity? Or do we harbor that resentment within us? We don't like that person. We don't talk to that person. The interesting things about this in the adult realm is you can give your kids countless lectures but they'll see right through it if they don't see the behavior in your life and in your walk. And they hear us when we're on our way home from church, and they hear us in our house, and they hear what we say about other people. They hear and see how we treat other people. That touches my heart. The lesson that I'm giving Abe is something, am I adhering to my own advice? The other thing I tell him is be a leader. Every one of us with children wants our children to be a leader. Don't go with the crowd. In essence, we just want them to have convictions in truth and be true to them. Don't be persuaded to leave that. Be an example to others of how you ought to be. That's a leader. Well, so I ask you the same question. Are you a leader? I ask myself, am I one? A great leader takes courage, discipline, and determination. There's a goal, their eyes are on it, and they're headed towards it. And they're willing to influence others to do the same. Matthew 5, verse 13 says, "You are the salt of the earth. You are the light of the world." You are the light of the world. Jesus was also the light. This profound commission that you in 2022 have been commissioned to carry this torch for Christ. That means you have a purpose. That's what I want my son to know. That's what my daughter to know. Let's not forget that purpose as a congregation. Individually, when you're at home, know you have a purpose. And if you're not living out that purpose, it's a waste because we only have a few breaths left on this life. You have a purpose. I hope Abe hears that. I hope we hear that. I also tell him, and this is the most important, this is my favorite. In fact, this has become my own personal mantra because once I started adhering to my own advice on this one, it changed my faith altogether. It's very simple. You can argue with me on what you emphasize. Mine is simple. Never give up. Never give up. If I can convince Abe and Rose, my kids, to never give up, they will do well in life. You can see it in entrepreneurs. You can see it in professional athletes. They have this resiliency and strength to persevere when they fail, and they never give up. And one thing Abe struggles with is, even in writing or something small, he gets very discouraged if he makes a mistake. He gets almost apoplectic if he makes a mistake, and it takes minutes to resolve. It's like, don't beat yourself up, man. It's okay. You're not perfect. You don't have to be perfect. What's the adult application? 1 Peter 5:8 says, "Be of sober spirit, be on the alert. Your adversary, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion, seeking someone to devour." Ephesians 6:11 says, "Put on the full armor of God so that you will be able to stand firm against the schemes of the devil." What's the goal here? We're putting on armor. We're aware of our adversary. Our goal is to stand firm. There's this daily spiritual battle where arrows are flying your way, and you don't put on the armor in case you get hit. You don't put on your football gear because you might get hit. You know you will get hit. And don't beat yourself up for it when you do. This is the point. What is a true victory for the devil? This was my aha moment when I realized the devil was winning so many battles against me. A true victory for the devil is when you get knocked down and you stay down and you lie and self-loathe in this bog of sadness and despair and self-loathing, and you grow to hate yourself, and that instills in you and distills this cynicism to the world and perspective that incapacitates your ability to be a light, to be a force of good, to be a force of strength, to help others, to be bold and courageous and all those things. You have a purpose. If you're knocked off track, pick yourself up and keep going. Because the truth of the matter is, if you're wondering, man, I'm so imperfect, I can't do it. We talk about those lessons on the highs and the lows of your faith. I got news for you. You aren't perfect in any way, and neither am I. And that's okay. In fact, that's one thing you can tell the devil when you're feeling that self-doubt in your heart. You can say, you're right, I'm not perfect, but I'm going to keep plowing forward. I'm going to keep going forward. The Bible is filled with stories of imperfect people. Adam and Eve after creation, Noah and his family after the flood, the Israelites after their exodus, the Israelites after Mount Sinai, the Israelites after the Promised Land, the Israelites after establishing a king, the Israelites after building a temple, and again and again and again and again and through all history. You are no different. And the truth of the story is that in our broken state, we are all united and humbled and then lifted up in our Redeemer, that is Jesus Christ. Never give up. Keep plowing forward. Be a leader. Be kind. All these lessons we give to our children, are we adhering to them as well? I hope tonight you know that you have a purpose. If you don't know what that is yet, whether you're the great encourager or whether you're the humble servant who gets their hands dirty, or whether you're a great orator, or whether you're a great teacher, I hope you can seek it out, however great or small, and you can dedicate your life to that. Because we only have such a short time on this earth. I pray for your children that they grow to be disciples of Christ, and I pray for us tonight. If you would like to join the family of God and be baptized, please come forward as we sing, and if you need the prayers, do so as well. Thank you.